Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Star Trek Critic, where we analyze and rip apart Star Trek episodes like we think we could have done better. Today's episode is the Doomsday Machine. The backstory is that someone in the prop department dropped and broke a model of the Enterprise, but managed to come up with a Doomsday script at the last second to use the ship in. Then presented the idea to the producers, who never realized he broke the ship in the first place, so they didn't fire him. Right now, they are at System L370. There used to be 7 planets in the system, but only 2 are left. And the only part of the distress call they can hear is that it was from the constellation. This screenshot turned out pretty good. The camera follows this girl to boost the ratings before you have to see Kirk again. It is very rare that they walk in front of the view screen. Every solar system in this sector blasted to rubble.
What? How? Destroyed by the Empire.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
There's a very bad feeling about this.
Why are we still moving towards it?
We're caught in a tractor beam that's pulling us in.
Spock is very observant. And of course, when you call Red Alert, that means for the security guards to take 1 step forward and for everyone else to run around aimlessly. The girl in blue's like, I'm getting out of here. This scene is pretty basic, but state-of-the-art for its time. Something in the area is blocking transmission, but they do know there is minimal power on the constellation. How did he get away with saying this on 60s TV? One point is lost here since you can clearly see there's no cut in the carpet. That's going to cause a mess when that turbolift starts to move. The landing party beams aboard the constellation, which strangely looks like an Enterprise hallway, and the set designers just left junk all over the place. Kirk is really upset with the custodial team. Scotty is the only one from engineering in a red shirt. Either the others are from different departments, or heard about the red shirt curse on derelict ships and changed shirts just to be safe. Scotty should be fuming right now. Someone threw a wild party in engineering and didn't clean up. You know Scotty's pissed when he pusses like Peter Pan. What happened to the crew? They can't find anybody. They can't be on the remaining planets. I think I saw this on Star Trek once before.
My lord, the ship appears to be deserted.
How can that be? We're hiding.
Scotty's report is that there isn't much left of the ship. This is a nice touch where they step over the pipe to go through the door. Of course, the door doesn't open either. It looks like they found the town drunk. Kirk keeps calling him the Commodore, but no, this is the Commodore. McCoy gives him a happy shot, and now he thinks he's Kirk. It looks like they're gonna kiss. This is Decker's captain's log. This episode is actually one of the few without a stardate. They saw the 4th planet being destroyed by this thing, so beamed the crew down to the 3rd planet. That was pretty stupid, really. They should have abandoned ship in the shuttlecraft and escape pods because the planet killers ignored them. This is common among planet killers. Decker is currently suffering from survivor's guilt. This is the only time we hear about anti-proton beams. Here is where you learn the machine destroys planets and consumes the debris for fuel. There was a living creature that did something similar. Kirk wants to get historical. McCoy's doctor comment means he doesn't really want to hear the speech. Here is the first reference to a 20th century Doomsday Machine, and they believe this is a Doomsday Machine that got away. Mainly now it is space junk that eats planets. Decker doesn't want to leave the ship, but Kirk convinces him to go with the doctor. If he read the script ahead of time, he would have never said that. This is a very rare shot from the original series. McCoy loses a point here. He's supposed to take Decker to sickbay for an examination, but they hear the red alert and go straight to the bridge. In the Corbomite maneuver, he ignored the red alert while he was examining Kirk. You know this planet killer is dangerous because it comes with its own theme music. Yes! Although it just looks like a giant windsock covered in concrete. The next point is lost by Spock, who can clearly see the smart thing to do is beam up Kirk and Scotty and get behind this planet killer where it is safe. And now Commodore Decker poses like Peter Pan. And of course their constant talk about what they are seeing out of the window instead of acting on it gave the chance for the machine to fire on them and blow out the transporter. And now they're all screwed, and this time it's Spock's fault. It looks like Sulu's going to take the captain's chair, but I think Commodore Decker wants to take it from Spock. Look at that in his eyes. Here is the Spock-McCoy bickering they have to do at least once in each episode. Here's proof of similarities in the planet killers. Where did I hear this before?
Well, the Empire doesn't consider a small one-man fighter to be any threat, or they'd have a tighter defense.
Spock's goal now is to get in communications range and warn Rigel, which is probably a good idea, since in the Star Trek universe, there are 50 inhabited planets in the Rigel system. Commodore Decker makes his move. The rest of the crew is like, huh? And here I will have to take another point. It is impossible for Commodore Decker to walk off his damaged ship and take over another one, unless the entire bridge crew is wiped out. So Spock loses a point for stepping down. He should have had those 2 extra guards escort him off the bridge, or McCoy should have stepped in and said they needed to go to sickbay first. There's no way this could be a Starfleet regulation. So this Starfleet order is a total crock. Decker's just on a power trip. He could have easily stood next to Spock and made suggestions, and Spock would have listened, and they could have come up with a better plan, but he didn't do it. McCoy is pissed, and these guys are thinking, we're screwed now. But don't worry, Spock is coming up with a plan during his stare-down with Commodore Decker. I guess he finds those computer disks tasty. Which is why Sulu is pissed, since Decker just ate his school project. But Decker doesn't care, he was hungry. Kirk is going to be in for a big surprise when he gets that viewer on. A good video to make would be one of how many times you see this device. It is used for several things. Kirk should really call for more staff, but I think he only wants to get the monitor to work, not the whole ship, since they really only want to tow this ship. The battle begins, which is a foolish idea since it can destroy a planet, and it can only fire in one direction, so getting behind it would be such a good idea. And I will have to take a point for not sending a shuttlecraft to the constellation, or at least suggesting it, since they know that the machine ignores small objects. This is what happens when you don't pay the cable bill. This is definitely not the channel he wanted, that's for sure. This is like when your teenager has your car keys. The previous angle of the ship makes this next scene impossible, so -1 point for a special effects mismatch. Spock makes his move here, but Decker stepped down in time before it could be relieved. But now...
Why are we still moving towards it?
We're caught in a time turbine that's pulling us in.
Kirk makes the ship move by throwing himself into the wall. And it works. Just look at it go. Here is a really good "that's what she said" moment. Getting pulled in by the tractor beam gives you the tendency to jiggle in your seat. Scotty saves the day. The tag team is working, but now Kirk is screwed. And this is where Kirk, Spock, and Commodore Decker have this unnecessary conversation. I've already taken several points away. It makes good drama, but would have never happened in real life. Of course, that's assuming we ever have Starfleet in real life. The green and gold discs in his hand are supposed to represent the friction between him and Kirk. And now we learn why there have been 2 extra guards on the bridge all day. And I still think this is wrong. They should try to stay right behind it where it can't blast them. So this show is unusual in that it isn't Kirk in the required fight scene. And I will have to take a point for an obvious stunt double. Shout out to Scotty. In this episode he proves he really is the miracle worker. The next point is lost since it's pretty much impossible to steal shuttlecraft like this. How is the shuttle bay not staffed? Both Kirk and Spock try to talk Decker out of a suicide mission. If he was able to steal a shuttlecraft so easily, he should have gotten some photon torpedoes too. Commodore Decker makes his last daring move at destroying the machine, very much like Captain Ahab after his whale. Either he is staring into his own mortality, or he's getting the best blowjob of his life. And goodbye to Captain Decker. The good news, of course, is that little bitty shuttle was able to produce a noticeable energy drop in the machine. There must have been an open mic, as Kirk heard that. They really don't explain what the future measurements of 97 megatons will mean, but it will be pretty big. Now, the actual self-destruct scene in Star Trek III was something completely different, but there must be several different ways to destroy a spaceship. The reason Kirk asked Scotty if he can cause the explosion is so Scotty can get away with saying this phrase on 60s TV. Spock clucks like a logical mother hen, but I have to agree with him, 30 seconds is nothing. Scotty shows us how to destroy the ship. And then he says, "I'm getting the hell out of here." Scotty is an excellent engineer, since he can tell while in the transporter beam that something is wrong. This is not what Kirk wanted to hear at all. He's like, "I'm screwed now." And Sulu is using miles, so -1 point. Decker used miles earlier, but it's slang, not as an accurate measurement, so he can't get dinged for that. Here's Scotty hard at work on the transporter. Here's Kirk trying not to soil his underwear. Sulu says weird things at the helm. Looks like McCoy is having a transporter nightmare. And Scotty gets to cuss in Gaelic. He gets all the good lines. This is polite for words that can't be used on this channel. This is the view from the Enterprise. This is the view of the Constellation preparing to meet her doom. But what's going on inside the Planet Killer? The Planet Killer is dead. And the transporter crew saved Kirk. Aww. Kirk returns to the bridge. This is Spock's way of saying, shit, I won't get command of the Enterprise after all. Kirk and Spock give a shout out to Decker's hard work while they walk in front of the view screen. And little do they know, in 15 years, they get to watch his sun explode too. And while the Enterprise limps into the sunset, they once again trash the 20th century like it was the only century that could create a Doomsday device. Dr. Crusher in the first season of The Next Generation did that all the time too. Since they bashed the 20th century twice in one episode, I have to take a point. Spock can't even open his eyes when he worries that there might be more. And now what you've been waiting for this whole time, the real story on what the Planet Killer is. In Star Trek Voyager, you'll remember they came upon the Equinox, where the crew enslaved these creatures and sucked their life forces out and created faster than warp speeds. Then they paid the price. In Star Trek Discovery, the crew enslaved this tardigrade who could see through space like a traveler in Dune and tortured the creature into taking them all over the galaxy. Of course, they were like, no, we're liberals, everything we do is right, and we didn't even steal the idea from someone else, not us. Now here comes the Constellation. Do you remember this scene in Engineering and why Scotty looks so confused? That's because these strange balls in Engineering are actually Horta eggs. That's right, Commodore Decker did the same thing. He went to the planet Janus 6, stole some Horta eggs, and used them to power the ship. But little did he know that this creature may be the babysitter, but in reality, this creature is the Queen Mother looking for revenge. That's why it spared the Constellation. It lured Decker into beaming the crew down to the third planet to destroy the crew on the ground so the eggs would be safe. Of course, this now means Kirk destroyed the mother with its own babies. But that's the real story. So, who was part of the Constellation crew? We will see Elizabeth Rogers 2 more times in Star Trek. We will see John Winston a few more times. Richard Compton played Washburn. We'll see him again too. John Kopach played Elliot. You will see him again as an extra in several episodes of The Next Generation and Voyager. Jerry Catrone was also a stuntman. You'll see him one more time on Star Trek and here again on Batman. William Wyndham fought in the Battle of the Bulge in World War II. Was an excellent chess player, had 5 wives, not all at once, and along with several stage performances, had 250 screen credits to his name, including To Kill a Mockingbird with Star Trek alumni Brock Peters. He will play Commodore Decker one more time in one of the Star Trek indie films. You also see him on Murder, She Wrote, and as the President in Escape from the Planet of the Apes. And the Enterprise survives the Doomsday Machine with a whopping score of 88%. Thanks for viewing. Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists. And click that like button, the share button, and that subscribe button. And I'll see you again real soon.